Morning, Judge.
Good morning. Today is his plea deadline date.
It is, Judge. We are going to be asking for a little bit more time. I've got two motions that I've prepped up. I have them for you to review here today if you care to. Otherwise, we can have a standalone setting if you prefer.
I do. Let me see. What are the motions?
It's a motion to appoint, thank you, mental health expert and investigator. I'm retained on the case, but I was hired by his mom. His mom has since had a change in employment, which cut her salary in half. She can no longer afford to fund those types of things. I have my client's last three pay stubs up there. He was originally declared indigent and appointed an attorney. I believe he's still indigent, so we'd ask the court to allow him the types of relief that an indigent client would have, even though I'm retained on the case. I believe that these are pertinent to us evaluating Mr. Crom, both in far as the guilt and innocence goes, as well as if he is found guilty.
So are you saying that he is incompetent or?
I don't think he's incompetent. I have concerns potentially about the legal definition of sanity sometimes, not when I interact with him, but just based on statements others have said.
So are you asking for a sanity evaluation?
That and just a mental health evaluation to determine how he perceives the world, how his brain reacts to certain situations, etc.
All right. So with regards to your motions, the court will set a date to have a hearing on those, and you'll need to bring documentation that he's unable to afford a mental health expert.
Are the pay stubs that I provided sufficient? They should be in there somewhere, but if not, I'll double check.
We'll set it for a hearing.
Okay.
Ms. Ferguson,
Sorry.
can you set this for a hearing? It shouldn't take that long.
His mom might want to testify. Can she do it via Zoom, Judge?
If the state has no objection.
I don't think I would. And that's
All right. So Ms. Ferguson, can you give us a date?
I can do October 18th
Are you able to put it on next week?
next week.
If not, we can do it the 18th.
The 18th, but it would have to be exactly at 9 in the morning. Not
I actually happen to be open the 18th and 9 o'clock.
Let me see. Are we going to be in a jury trial that week?
we might.
Can we do it at 8:30 maybe before y'all would?
No.
Fair enough, Judge. I had to ask.
Norma, can you put it on the 16th or 17th?
I can do it on the 16th.
All right. October 16th for your motions. Make sure they're filed.
Will do, Judge. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Hello. So your attorney is out ill, and so are other family members. So we're going to give you a reset. All right. What date, Ms. Ferguson?
She's asking either next week or we can do in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I think it's November 2nd.
All right. Well, we'll see you back on my birthday. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Cromie,
Caleb Crom, Your Honor, CROMB.
thank you. All right. Just 1 second. All right. Caleb Crom. All right. Does everybody have all their discovery?
I believe so, Judge. We did file two motions that you called us back on last setting. I was sick. I'm still sick, which is why I'm not standing before you coughing in your face. But I'm well enough to participate today. Those were e-filed and have been accepted by the clerks as of this morning. I do have his financial documents that I did not e-file as an exhibit that I can send to you.
What are those motions?
Motion to appoint an expert to do a mental health evaluation, and then a motion to appoint an investigator. He does not make much money. His mom is the one who hired me. And
Just
then
1 second. Could I have those motions? Just give us a moment.
no problem. Thanks, Judge.
All right, we're going to go on the record in 2023 CR 2669, State of Texas versus Caleb Crom. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Banks for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Colin Hobbs for Mr. Crom, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Crom?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense has filed two motions. One motion is a motion to appoint an investigator. The other is a motion to appoint a mental health expert. Defense, you're retained?
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry. I was sending those emails to Norma, but they've been sent, so I'll be on this.
All right. So, as you know, counsel, you have to present information for the reason why the court should appoint an investigator and appoint a mental health expert for your client since you are retained. So you may proceed. You're muted.
Sorry, I'm out of Zoom practice at this point. At this time, I'll call Caleb Chrome.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Caleb Chrome.
All right. Defense.
Caleb, in this case, did you originally hire me or did a family member hire me?
My mother.
Okay. And since the time where your mother hired me, has she had a change in employment?
Yes, sir.
What, financially speaking, what did that change of employment do for her finances?
It lowered her income monthly.
Do you know by how much?
A lot.
Okay.
Maybe like a couple thousand.
Okay. And your financial situation, where do you work?
The wash tub.
Okay. Approximately how many hours do you work per week?
Less than 35.
Okay. At the end of the month, how much do you have left over for discretionary spending each month?
Maybe at most $100.
Okay. And you do have a savings account that has about 700 in it right now, correct?
Yes, sir.
But that money is already earmarked for bills. That's not a savings account for an emergency or anything like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have people that you take care of?
I have my daughter and my wife as well. We team up to help my daughter.
Okay. Do you have any assets that you could sell to try and help finance hiring of an expert, hiring an investigator?
No, sir.
If this court were to require you to pay for an expert, an investigator, would you be able to do so?
Probably not. Not without help.
And then, is your mom the only person who can usually help you?
Yes, sir.
And she's not in a current position to do so with what she's making?
No, sir.
Okay. The pay stubs that are working their way to the judge right now, you provided those to me?
Yes, sir. And I have, I think, another one too. I have not sent you yet.
Okay, we can get those to the judge if she needs it. Are those pay stubs representative of, and Mr. Banks did take a look at these last time, Your Honor. We just weren't able to move forward.
Any objections to the court reviewing that?
No objection.
Thank you.
And are these representative of approximately what you make on each paycheck, Caleb?
Roughly.
Thank you. Do you have anybody else aside from your mom who you could ask for help at this time?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Can I have
And then regarding your mental health, can you tell us a little bit about some of your mental health struggles growing up and what you struggle with now even?
I have been diagnosed with autism, ADHD, depression, and for the most part, I think that's all.
Is there any bipolar in there or am I?
I think that got ruled out.
Okay.
100% sure.
When officers arrested you, your family went into detail with the officers about your mental health struggles as well, correct?
I think I was the only one.
Okay. But when you were talking to the officers, you explained to them that sometimes your brain just reacts differently than people.
Yes, sir.
And does it take extra work for you to try and make the correct decision and understand things compared to what others deal with on a day-to-day basis?
Yes, sir.
Judge, this time it's going to be, I'll pass the witness. I had one other witness, but she was unable to be here today, unfortunately. It was his mom.
If I can, my mom was asking for the Zoom meeting.
Is she going to be able to log in if it's after 11?
I think I just received a text from her just a second ago, but I didn't want to pull out my phone.
All right.
Okay.
Any other questions for this witness?
Not at this time, Judge.
All right. For the record, the court has reviewed the defendant's pay stubs from the wash tub. Does anybody want these submitted as exhibits?
No, Your Honor. Just your review is fine. I trust you.
All right. So I reviewed them. And one of the reason why I asked that question is because on the pay stub, it has a social security number. And if we were to admit it, that probably needs to be redacted.
One of the reasons why I preferred to email it to you as opposed to screen share.
And if you could give those to the defendant, please. All right. With regards to the defendant's motion for appointment of mental health expert, And also defendant's motion to appoint an investigator based upon the evidence that's been submitted to the court with regards to the defendant's ability to pay. The court is going to grant those motions. The court is going to find that the defendant is unable to afford a mental health expert or an investigator. And as both parties are aware, my job is to make sure that everybody has a fair trial. And based upon the questions that were asked by the defense counsel and the response, these are necessary experts that the defense may need in order to properly try this case if it comes to that point. So with regards to discovery, do you have all the discovery, Mr. Hobbs?
I believe so, Judge.
All right, State, did you make a offer?
Has been made, yes, and defense has made a counter, and we're currently at an impasse.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, how long do you all expect this jury trial to last?
Oh, sorry, about 3 days. Yeah.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you set this for a jury trial date? Mr. Hobbs, it'll probably be in the new year.
That'd be fine, Judge. And as far as the evaluation goes, I suspect that we're going to be using just the normal ones that Bear County uses. Do we know the turnaround to have them talk to him and provide a report for those things?
I'll have Ms. Ferguson forward it to Judge Carruthers, but what you'll need to do is you'll need to contact Judge Carruthers as well, because your client is on bond. They'll need his contact information so they can set up an appointment.
Absolutely. In the new year's fine. And, I can't promise that if those reports aren't ready, I won't come with a motion for continuance.
Oh, those reports will be ready.
Okay.
So your jury trial date and plea deadline date is going to be January 16th. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Your
And
Honor.
have a happy birthday too.
Oh, thank
Absolutely.
you very much. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Caleb. I meant to say it too, Judge. I'm sorry. Have a great day.
That's okay. All right, you too. Caleb Crom, what is happening with that?
We have a motion to set bond. His bond was revoked. He's been here all morning. I was a little bit late, so my apologies on me being late.
Well, I mean, he wasn't here at 9.
He was texting with me, Joe. I told him to wait in the hall because I'd prefer to talk to him in the hall versus in the box.
So when people say people have been here, I'm thinking that means inside the courtroom.
If you're angry with someone, let it be at me, Judge. I instructed
I'm not
him.
angry.
I know.
I'm just stating
I just
facts.
didn't want you blaming my client for being late.
Oh, I don't blame anybody.
Okay.
I just accept facts as they are and then make a decision on the facts that are presented to me.
Understood. I felt it was easier for me to have a conversation with him in the hall than in the box because I'm not very good at whispering.
Mhm.
As your bailiff can attest to, she shushes me 40 times every time I'm in here. I don't blame her.
Surely not 40 times.
It feels like it. She's not there. So he was arrested on 3 new misdemeanors. He has made bond on those. We're asking the court to reinstate his $20,000 bond, but if the court doesn't see fit, Zach and I have spoken and we believe that $30,000 is an agreeable amount. His original bond was 20 on this.
So are we only here for a bond? What are we here for today? Just this bond?
It was originally set as a jury trial setting, Judge, but this is also the case where the mental health professionals got signed off on a week or two ago, where the confusion on competency versus a mental health professional was ironed out when you signed the orders. So those people have not had time to do their jobs, obviously. But we are asking the court, and Zach was okay with us presenting the court the motion to set bond on his case. His mom is here, his father's here, and his wife is here. So we've got a lot of family support. His grandpa is supporting him during this time as well, but he is about to be in hospice, so his health is not allowing him to be here.
Okay. Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
on this case, set this mid-February for an update on this mental health issue.
Can we do late February? I'm out of the country mid-February.
When are you back?
I believe I'm gone from the 7th to the 17th, but I can check my calendar. Correct. I return on the 17th, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, put this on the 20th.
Yes, ma'am.
And then with regards to the bond, have Judge Nahara hear this. So Judge Nahara will hear it.
Do I need to contact that court to have that set, or how's it work?
Ms. Ferguson is going to get in touch with them.
Okay.
You file your motion, you have a motion with you,
I do. The paper's in the file and I e-filed it this
we
morning.
can send it to them.
Today.
Yeah, it's gonna
Okay, yeah, I wanted to get a sense of what the timeline was.
Yeah, and they'll contact you with whatever date.
Okay. Okay, so he won't be taking over there, is what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
Where's the attorney for Caleb Crum?
How are you today, Judge?
Oh, I'm doing great. All right, so there's supposed to be an update on mental health.
So Judge, he's been waiting for the competency to be done, but hasn't got anything there. And I do have an update on the private one that you've granted funds for.
Yes.
I'm struggling to get that same expert paid on a different case that I had her appointed on, to the point where she is now saying that she is not inclined to take any further.
All right, so that's not out of this court where she's not being paid, is it?
No, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, the judges in that court have been helpful. It's just been a process to get everything signed, and then I suspect she's going to be paid eventually, but I understand her frustrations.
Mhm.
And so what I'm hoping is you'll give me a little bit of time to see if I can find a different expert. I do think the expert's still needed. Obviously, the court agreed in granting me $1,200 for it. And then if you'll allow me, I'll just run down to competency this morning and talk to Judge Carruthers staff to see
Yes,
what we're
if
missing
you, I
there.
tell you what, if you will run down to Judge Carruthers Court right now
Okay.
and then come back up and see what date they give you, that will be appreciated.
Absolutely. I'll be right back. I'll let them know when I'm ready.
All right, thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Is she on Crum?
Judge, they said it takes about 2 months to get it scheduled. It was sent over, I think, middle of January, and ballpark of January 15th. So I think that gives us until March 15th, where hopefully, they couldn't give me a date. I asked that.
All right, can I see the file on Crum?
Do you want my client back up, Judge?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I have it here.
Okay,
I have so many files up here today.
I'll take whatever back you need.
All right, so we're going to recall your case on March 18th.
Yes.
And they think that they will have that done by then, counsel?
It was unclear if it would be scheduled by then or if it would be done by then. I took it to mean it would be done by then.
Okay.
If we get closer to that date and I don't have, if he hasn't had the evaluation with one of the doctors yet, then I'll come let the court know ahead of time. I just got back in the country. I would have let y'all know before today.
Okay.
You said which day, Judge?
March 18th.
Thank you. I will use my best efforts to locate a substitute expert witness, and then I will bring you an updated order with that name should I get someone before then.
Okay.
Would that be okay with the court?
Yes. All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Sure.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right, where are we on the mental health update?
We have the report back, Judge, the actual judge's adjudication of it. It's not until I think later this week, actually.
It's on Friday.
Yeah, I believe he's going to be found competent.
Okay.
I'm still working on, here's what we're asking the court today, and I think the state's joining in this request. There's some new information that came out on his more recent case that I've pointed the state to, saying that I think they need to look at it. What they're going to do is they're A, going to look at it, and B, maybe come up with a universal offer that takes care of everything. Because of competency and other mental health issues in this case, I don't believe we ever had a final plea by deadline. So I'd like one more pretrial if the court can give it to us. I'm also still looking, you authorized me with $1,200 for a mental health expert, not for competency purposes, but for potentially mitigation at sentencing purposes. And as I've told you before, my expert backed out of that based on the fact that she is having trouble getting paid from, and it's not your court, Judge, but she's having trouble getting paid by the auditor's office, much like I just heard you talk about.
Okay.
And I don't blame her. She said, Colin, I'm not going to do any more. Like, it's too much hassle to get paid. I've been trying to make some calls to find someone else. I'm still trying. I might bring you an updated order at some point with a new one. But as of this point, I've not been able to secure anyone who's willing to take a court-appointed case right this moment. So I'd like one more pretrial. I think there's issues that I've pointed the state to that might make their offer change for the better.
All right, so the final date on this case is going to be April 30th. What's going to be due is states you have to tender an offer at that time, and acknowledgement of discovery needs to be completed.
Okay, Judge.
All right, see you on April 30th. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused, okay?
Thank you.
All right, where are we on the mental health update?
We have the report back, Judge, the actual judge's adjudication of it. It's not until I think later this week, actually.
It's on Friday.
Yeah, I believe he's going to be found competent.
Okay.
I'm still working on, here's what we're asking the court today, and I think the state's joining in this request. There's some new information that came out on his more recent case
that I've pointed the state to, saying that I think they need to look at it. What they're going to do is they're A, going to look at it, and B, maybe come up with a universal offer that takes care of everything. Because of competency and other mental health issues in this case, I don't believe we ever had a final plea by deadline. So I'd like one more pretrial if the court can give it to us. I'm also still looking, you authorized me with $1,200 for a mental health expert, not for competency purposes, but for potentially mitigation at sentencing purposes. And as I've told you before, my expert backed out of that based on the fact that she is having trouble getting paid and it's not your court, Judge, but she's having trouble getting paid by the auditor's office, much like I just heard you talk about.
Okay.
And I don't blame her. She said, Colin, I'm not going to do any more. Like, it's too much hassle to get paid. I've been trying to make some calls to find someone else. I'm still trying. I might bring you an updated order at some point with a new one. But as of this point, I've not been able to secure anyone who's willing to take a court-appointed case right this moment. So I'd like one more pretrial. I think there's issues that I've pointed the state to that might make their offer change for the better.
All right, so the final date on this case is going to be April 30th. What's going to be due is states you have to tender an offer at that time, and acknowledgement of discovery needs to be completed.
Okay, Judge.
All right, see you on April 30th. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused, okay?
Thank you.
Good morning. All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 2669, State of Texas versus Caleb Crum. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense,
Colin Hobbs from Mr. Crum, Your Honor.
and are you Mr. Crum?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Crum, did you review what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Mr. Crum, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Sure.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
And counsel, the court sees on the docket sheet that there may have been some issues with competency. Was that addressed?
It was, Your Honor.
All right.
He's been adjudicated competent at this point, as well as there have been changes that I've seen in my client from the beginning of representation till now. And even at the time, and you and I discussed this when I requested it, even at the time, I thought he was competent, but I had enough questions that I thought it was worth having a mental health professional review it at that time.
All right. Mr. Crum, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state is recommending deferred. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Megan Amanda Crum, Cal Casper. There's to be a mental health evaluation. Follow those recommendations. They're going to give a judgment satisfied in the following cause numbers. County Court cause number 724-258, 724-259, 724-260. And do you understand if the court finds that there's an affirmative finding of a if the court were to find that there was a deadly weapon used, that the court will make an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon? Did you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
Not that we're negative in our behalf, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 10 years. Did you understand that's a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states one and attachments.
No objection, Your
All
Honor.
right. And state, have you had a chance to speak with the complainants?
We have, Your Honor.
And are they aware of this agreement and agree with it?
Yes, Your Honor, to both counts. They are aware and they do agree with it, Your Honor.
All right. And are they asking for the no contact?
We put in the no contact. They're good with it.
Judge, I believe at this point, my client is also okay with no contact rather. They are related. However, the person that he most would like to visit with is his grandma. And grandma can leave the house. She's a good physical, so she can come visit them without him going to the house and being near Megan.
All right. So here's my question, and this is before I've made a finding. I just want to ask these questions in case the state needs to confer. All right. So is he currently seeing a counselor or seeing anyone to work through any issues?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You are still senior.
Yes, I have my own counselor. I set up with the appointments to better myself. I've been going through some stuff with my grandfather passed away, so I thought counselor would be the best thing. I haven't found that the court appointed ones that were from misdemeanor court.
Mhm.
I didn't like their services. I think it's Center of Health or whatever. I didn't like their services, so I went out on my own and I went to ThriveWorks. That's the counselor I'm seeing is with them.
Have you been following their recommendations?
For the most part, yes, sir.
Leading by for the most part.
So I'm trying to get back on medications because the Center of Health isn't working out their medications. But
Can you explain why? Sorry.
It's just, I've been on them for a couple months and I haven't seen no changes in those medications. So I am currently trying to find a prescriber that will prescribe something that I'm used to and I know it's working at the time.
Well, have you informed Center for Healthcare Services that the medications?
And they're not listening to me. They keep trying to upper the dose or lower the dose or some stuff that I know doesn't work. And I keep telling them, it's not working for me. I know this isn't gonna work. And I keep trying to give them recommendations like, this is what I need, this is what I don't need. And they're not listening to me. So I'm trying to go to the MAC. They help with a lot of assistance, but it's a 6 week wait. So I'm just waiting on a hear back from them and they'll help me with my medications.
Everyone, please whisper.
So far that's going well. I've been checking in with the MAC and stuff to get the services. But right now I'm just in counseling, taking it day by day. I'm in school and so forth.
All right. So here's my question. Does anyone think with regards to the no contact order since he's in counseling, is there any benefit to changing that for it to be no in-person contact? Because maybe they want to start with phone calls. If not, just let me know.
Is it possible, Your Honor, that we could keep it as a no contact for now? And then if Colin and I confer or things change, we'd be able to approach the court together to maybe make a modification?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court We'll review the same. All right, so what is your relationship to Mary Crom?
That's my step grandmother.
Okay,
And that was the person that I was referring to when I said she has the capability of leaving the house to visit him.
all right. Does she want to visit him?
She does.
Okay,
That's the only grandma he's known.
okay,
She's been in his life, his entire life.
all right. Court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. All right, does anyone want to speak to the length of probation?
I usually let counsel go. Do you mind if I get us started on for this one? So, Your Honor, we conferred at length on multiple occasions here. In terms of the length, we want this individual to have as much supervision as possible. And given their willingness to accept a plea with respect to, in particular, those 3 JSATs, in connection with this case and the no contest we've already spoken about, given that it's the nature of the deferred, again, we were hoping for the maximum opportunity to supervise and give this individual a chance to turn things around.
All right, then it will be 10 years deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon, affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Megan Amanda Crom, Cal Casper. There's to be a judgment satisfied in the following cause numbers. County Court at Law 724258, 724259, 724260.
Judge, just for the record, we completed those plea bargains, JSAT and County Court 13 impact this morning. Those have been completed at this time.
There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs. All right. So ThriveWorks, who do you see there?
I have to look at my phone what her name is. I don't have it by heart yet. I've been going for about 3 weeks, but I haven't got her name down yet in my mind yet.
All right. So what you're going to have to sign a release so that probation will know what's going on with that. And how often are you seeing them?
She was busy this week. It's usually once a week. But I just started back in school, so I'm trying to get my schedule settled with schooling. But I think we have another appointment maybe next week.
All right. You're going to sign a release and you're going to continue with your treatment at ThriveWorks. And I know my accent is getting in the way, so it's THRIVEWORKS.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And probation, their number is 571-771-2478. That's 571-771-2478. Now, with regards to your medication, it says that ThriveWorks, they have psychiatrists and they do medication.
They do. I was talking to one of the ladies there and she recommended me find one that's an in-person person because they can do more than, I guess, someone that's on Zoom. Because I think she's only Zoom. I don't know, it's weird. She just recommended me to find someone that's like more of in person, like Center of Health, for instance. But I'm working on it. I'm trying to get it as quickly as possible because I know I need to get back on meds.
So are you on any medications at all?
Yes and no. Really, mainly no, because the other ones aren't really working. But I found new coping skills and everything else to keep me calm and collected.
So what are you receiving medication for? What's your diagnosis?
For my anxiety, my PTSD, my ADHD, my depression, and my autism.
All right, so here's the thing. I know you understand and you're saying that Center for Healthcare Services is not listening to you. I understand that. Sometimes doctors don't listen to people. They want to go through their steps that they always go through. But you know you're supposed to be on some form of medication
I know.
and you need to be on medication. So it's either going to be medication through Center for Healthcare Services or either you're going to go through ThriveWorks. But you're going to have to get on your medication and I'm going to give you 3 weeks. And so it's either going to be probation, it's either going to be Center for Healthcare Services, or either it's going to be ThriveWorks for him to get in compliance with his medication.
So I should be with the MAC before 3 weeks. I
Okay.
should be with them, and if I do, I can always contact probation.
And what does MAC stand for?
I don't remember what it stands for, but I know they work with a lot of like autism and stuff too. So it's over like
It is it through the Behavioral Health Center?
maybe, I don't know. I know it's like Morgan's Mac or something like that. They have like colorful, like a little butterfly and stuff, you know.
Okay.
Oh, I think I found it because I see the butterfly.
Mhm.
Morgan's MAC is Multi-Assistance Center. If you want to look it up on your end,
Sorry.
Multi-Assistance Center, a collaborative care community center for individuals with disabilities and special needs.
And just one moment, any objection to the court reviewing the MAC?
No objection.
No, not at all.
And we're off the record. I don't see where they do anything as far as,
So they have a lot of things there. They help with like finding jobs, medications, counseling, and then a mixed of majority of things. It's a big building, so they have like different offices in there.
probation. Have you ever had any contact with MAC?
I personally have not.
Okay.
If I might make a suggestion, Your Honor.
Oh, just one
Yeah.
moment. I'm reviewing something. Well, what I can tell you, MAC, you know who's under their umbrella from what I'm looking at online? Center for Healthcare Services.
Really?
And that's where they'll be sending you to.
Oh, wow.
So,
I guess I'll
because
just stay
everything
with that.
else,
I'll
so
just-
I'm going to order Center for Healthcare Services.
Okay.
And you will need to advocate for yourself or either get someone to advocate for you with regards to medication.
Okay.
All right, we're going to go back on the record. So the court is going to order a Center for Healthcare Services referral. If you no longer want to be with them, then you're going to have to get someone else.
Okay. Do I have to come back to court or do I have to just tell my?
No, probation is going to let you know, and you need to follow those conditions. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So if
So-
he does find another mental health professional that he would like to see instead, and probation tells him no, there's nothing prohibiting me.
Here's the
from
thing, probation is not going to tell him no. So I'm referring you to Center for Healthcare Services. The probation officer is right to the back. If you turn to the back, there's Miss Abrams and Caroline. I am letting them know that you're being referred to Center for Healthcare Services. If you do not wish to go to Center for Healthcare Services, the other option and what will be acceptable to the court, if you have another provider, and that means a psychiatrist to issue medications. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. You say you're in school?
Yes, ma'am.
How many hours are you taking per semester?
I don't know what the semester hours is, but I know it's from 6 p.m. to 12 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna start back at work, which is gonna be from morning to like 5.
All right. There's 200 hours community service restitution. If he provides proof that he is in school full-time, and I know that's at night, but 6 to 6 sounds like some good hours. Each semester that he's in school, states you can deduct 10 hours.
Just if he maintains full employment after he graduates, given that he has a young child, that's one of the reasons he's been seeking to better himself, get back in school, get better employment. If he has full-time employment, could we also work out some type of arrangement where that's forgiven over the course of time?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And there's to be parenting classes. And anger management class. Probation. Is there anything else? All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to? Thank you.
What was that doing here?
Field visits. And the field visits will be one time per month until he's stable on medication.
And Judge,
just for that, that get into compliance within 3 weeks through either DriveWorks, Sinclair Healthcare Services, or multi-assisted or collaborative care? Is
Yes.
that an actual condition, or are you just going with the Sinclair Healthcare Services referral?
No, it's going to be the Center for Healthcare Services referral. And that place that's the multi-assistance, Center for Healthcare Services under their umbrella. So they're going to send him there anyway. But yes, 3 weeks compliance.
The judge did mention that he could get his own therapist. Okay, making sure.
I understand.
Did that clear up? Or no?
It's fine.
You sure?
Yes.
All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, to be successful on probation in this court, communication is key. If there's an issue, go see your probation officer, call them, make sure you leave a message. If you feel as though they're not addressing that issue, then you can always come back to the court. And if I'm here, you can come back and see me. All right?
And I have another question. So the anger management course and the family one, is that just like whenever I have time, or is there like a?
Oh, probation will set things up. The number one thing I want to focus on right now is getting your mental health issues stable. And probation will focus on your mental health. But then you're going to have to start doing, so you need to focus on that. You need to focus on parenting classes.
I think, and Caleb, correct me if I'm wrong, one of his concerns is missing school based on conflicting schedules.
no.
He doesn't get kicked out.
No, nothing is happening with probation at 6 p.m. at night. I don't think probation officer wants to see you at 6 p.m.
Fair enough.
If they do, there's an issue. And in which case you'll be seeing me, not them. And I guarantee you won't be at 6 p.m. Okay. And what's the tattoo on the neck?
It's my wife's name. I'm trying to get some of my tattoos removed. I was young and kind of reckless. I just don't have $2,000 right now.
Well, you know, I always say if you're going to put names on your body, the safe bet is your mom, because your mom always loves you, and your children. Everybody else.
Daughter.
Or your judge, your fellow prosecutor.
Yeah, let's not do that. I don't want some girlfriend saying, and who's Stephanie Boyd?
Just a reminder.
But you heard him say prosecutor, so when I get Zach's name on him, he's got to give me better deals.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Have a good day.
All right. You too.
Let's get the facts straight. She loves a verbal ashtray. Never blowing smoke when she gets pissed. She's quick to castrate. Love her on a good day, love her on a bad